But one thing that struck with me was when my partner passed away, our son was just 2 years old. And I remember him saying to me, he says, who's going to mind us from the bad guys now that daddy's gone? Because, of course, he worshipped his dad. His dad was his hero.
Yeah, of course.
And I remember that stuck with me. And I was like, I will. It'll be me. I'll do it.
Welcome to Strong Mind, Strong Body, the podcast from your favourite fitness studio, RG Fitness and Pilates in Trim, County Meath. We believe that building a strong and confident mind and body takes precedence over everything. Okay, welcome back to Strong Mind, Strong Body. Today's guest is from, I better not say Summerhill or she will kill me, so she's not from Summerhill. She's from Mynalby, right here in County Meath. She's a solo parent to 2 gorgeous children, and if that wasn't busy enough, for the past, I think it's about 5 years. Is it about 5 years?
Yeah, it would be.
About 5 years. She's been training towards one big goal, and that was to compete in a bodybuilding competition. And not only did you compete in the bodybuilding competition, Eleanor, you won 4 medals.
Yes.
Yes. So welcome, Eleanor, to the podcast. So happy to have you here.
Thank you.
So if you could just take us back to the beginning and what first inspired you to start bodybuilding?
I would have started out, I always played sport growing up. I was always really active, always into, I did dancing, football, horse riding, everything. So I was always quite active. And then I just liked going to the gym, but of course, being a woman of the early noughties, I only did cardio and stayed on the treadmill and a few little light weights.
Yeah.
And then after I had my first child, I went back to the gym, and it was kind of a thing of like boot camp classes and stuff like that. And the guy who was doing those was like, "Oh, you're quite strong. Would you think of doing powerlifting?" Did a couple.
Had you even heard of powerlifting?
I'd heard a little bit about it, and then I was like, "Oh God, yeah, sure, we'll give it a go."
Yeah.
Competed in that for a while, and then fell pregnant with my second. Well, I was in the middle of getting ready for a competition, which didn't go down well.
You can't just say something like that and then just leave it at that. You have to elaborate.
Yeah. So when I was pregnant with my second child, my partner passed away tragically. And kind of all thoughts of the gym and everything like that kind of just fell by the wayside.
Yeah.
I had my daughter then, and then kind of didn't deal with it very well, didn't cope with the loss very well. So I remember...
It's an awful lot, isn't it?
Yeah.
Especially with 2 small kids
and
a brand new baby.
Yeah, so I had like a 2-year-old and a newborn, and I had just gone through like a huge loss. And I remember my mum saying to me, she was like, "You're going back to the gym," because I'd shut down completely. I wasn't talking about what had happened. I wasn't verbalising. I wasn't showing any emotion or anything like that.
So your mum had obviously seen the effect that training had on you.
Yes.
Yeah.
So went back to the gym, and it was just purely just to get myself out of the house for a little while, a couple of times a week. And I just loved it. It was my therapy. It was what I needed at the time. So got back in shape after having my daughter, and then always kind of liked I missed the heavy lifting, but I knew competing in powerlifting just wasn't giving me what I wanted. So then I started working with my own coach then, Brian Hickey, about 5-6 years ago now. So I had said to Brian, I said, "Look, I want to get in shape, I want to build muscle, I want to be really strong."
So how did you source Brian Hickey then?
So I had heard of Brian. A few friends of mine had used him for competing and stuff like that, and I'd heard great things about him, so I got in touch.
Is he like an online coach?
So he does online now, but he does in person as well.
Okay.
So he does clinics where he'd meet up with you once a month or once every couple of weeks, depending on what you're doing with him at the time. So I met up with him and just told him, I was like, "Look, I want to get in shape. I want to, I'd lost kind of the baby weight, and even though I'd been training for years, I didn't see the physique I'd wanted." And I said, like, ideally, I would like to compete eventually. Now he did say to me, I adore the man because he's like me. He's straight out and straight to the point.
I think he's the only man in your life that knows every single detail of your life.
Absolutely. And he's the only man who I will actually listen to as well.
Yeah.
Do what I'm told by. He'll love that. So he basically said to me, he said, if you want to step on stage, there's a lot of work. I think a lot of people see online that they see a lot of people competing and they see like a 12-week prep or a 20-week prep and think, oh, that's it. It's actually years. So like that, because of the years of being in that diet culture that we were all stuck in, my metabolism was all over the place. So this thing of like starving ourselves, basically, you can't build muscle if your body is constantly in starvation mode.
Exactly, yeah.
So we had to do a massive bulk, which for a woman of our era was like a bit of a mind fuck, basically.
Of course it will be.
So basically I had to
it goes against everything
everything we were taught, everything that we have seen over the years, where we were told to be really small and really skinny, and we had to be a size this and a size that. And here I was purposely putting on weight. Now, it's not weight as in like fat, but like you were getting bigger, and like there was a little bit of extra fluff, as we call it. And it was really uncomfortable at the time to kind of wrap my head around it, but I knew I had to trust the process. We ended up putting on, I think it was 18 kg altogether. Now, not all of that would have been muscle. That would have been amazing. But yeah, so we did a bit of a bulk. Then we did a few kind of cuts in between. So myself and yourself did a photo shoot in 2023. Yeah. So there was a bit of cut.
Was great crowd.
That was very good fun.
Yeah.
So there was a bit of a cut there, and then we kind of worked a little bit more on building what we wanted. And then last October, it would have been, we did a prep for a photo shoot. So the photo shoot would kind of be a little bit of a segue into getting into bodybuilding preps. And then as well, it helps out because I am a PT myself. And I work in a gym close by. And I think in this industry, obviously, people are going to look at your physique, like it's kind of thing, like you're not going to go to a hairdresser with crap hair. Somebody wants to look at their PT and say, oh God, she's in good shape.
Yeah, of course.
So, you know, it was a bit of a win-win. It was something to kind of get me ready for prep. And then, you know, I'd have photos to be able to show, look, I can't get myself in good shape. I can get you in good shape too.
Yeah.
So then we went and we did our photo shoot, and then January this year we started our prep for our first bodybuilding competition.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing. So good. Can I just actually say that I used to see, so me and Eleanor used to work together a few years ago, and we'd be sitting in the back office, and Eleanor would be sitting there with her protein porridge. It was a beef protein
at the time, yeah.
Every single day in a little like
lunchbox,
Chinese,
lunchbox, yeah.
And we'd be all heading out to the canteen to eat the food down there. Like, Eleanor, you come for lunch? No, I have my lunch here. And I remember thinking, how does she do it? How does she do it? Like, you're just brilliant to
I'm
do it.
very, like, some would say disciplined, others would say stubborn.
Yeah. I can see a little bit of both.
Little bit of stubborn.
But you had a goal.
Yeah.
And that was your goal.
Like, in my head, if I wanted to do this, what would be the point in kind of going, I'll do a bit of it and do that of it?
Yeah.
Because knowing the end result, like getting on stage, if I didn't do everything I knew I could.
Yeah. Plus, you probably had Brian Hickey on your shoulder going, you're going to eat that, what I told you to eat.
Yeah, no, he would. He'd keep me accountable now. He's well able for me now as well. Yeah. But I'd also as well, I'd be like, I'm too loyal and everything. I'd be like, I cheated, I'm so sorry.
That's you all over.
Yeah, I'm like, no, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to.
But like, just talking about the prep there. So 5 years, it's a long journey.
Yeah.
What did a typical week of training and meal prep look like for you while also raising 2 young children and working?
Oh, so we did a 20-week prep there for this competition. Prep is hard. Like, bodybuilding is hard. It's not easy. It's like, there's only, I think, 1% of the population do it, compete. If it was easy, kind of everyone would kind of be like, oh yeah, that's grand. Yeah. I'll do that. Like, it was hard, but I weirdly enjoy that kind of...
It's a really good challenge, and you said, you love a challenge, but you're stubborn as well.
Yeah.
Because if you put your mind to it,
Yeah.
you're like, no, I'm doing it.
Yeah, it is a physical challenge, but it is more so a mental challenge as well. So for prep for 20 weeks, like you don't start off straight in, like it kind of gradually gets a little bit harder as you go. So you'd have your lifting sessions that you do every week. So you'd have about 4 to 5 lifting sessions, and they're heavy lifting sessions. You know, you're working your different body areas throughout the week.
Just as a matter of interest, your coach then, Brian, would he tell you, okay, so aside from the meal and the things, would he say, okay, I want you to work upper body this week, I want you to lift this heavy,
Yeah, we have a plan, like there's a plan that you follow. Like when I was competing, it was posterior chain one day, it was upper body the next day, legs the next day, and then upper body again for the last session. And then you would, by the end of prep, I was doing 11 cardio sessions a week.
Wow.
11. So it would be broken up into like either 30-minute sessions or 40-minute sessions, so nearly twice a day. Usually would be on the Stairmaster where possible, and then if not, it was either out walking where I could, because I prefer to be outside doing my cardio if I can, or I have a little walking pad at home, or I have a little bike at home. And this is this is me to a T. I would put it in front of the washing machine and put on a wash on a load.
Oh,
and
what?
And I would not stop that bike or walking pad until my washing was done.
That's actually genius.
It is genius because
it's so good.
It was like multitasking 101.
Multitasking.
Yeah.
And for anyone then listening that might be thinking, oh, it's an awful lot of time spent away from your kids. You didn't actually spend that much time away from your kids.
No, because usually they were either at home with me, or like, God bless them, like some of the times they were getting up at 5 a.m. to come to the gym with me.
Yeah.
Like they're absolute legends, the two of them. But yeah, like you make it work, like you manage it, like you manage it around like your schedule and everything. Like there was times I was having to get up at 4 a.m. to get a cardio session in or a lifting session in, so I knew it was done, because you had to tick all the boxes and get them done.
There was 4 a.m, that's tough.
That was tough, yeah. A lot of very long days, a lot of like you'd be up 4 a.m. and you might be still working at 8 o'clock at night.
Yeah, you'd be exhausted.
Yeah, I run on stubborn and caffeine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's very accurate.
Yeah,
I love
stubborn and caffeine is.
What did you find was your biggest obstacle along the way? Was it time? Was it your confidence? Was it finances?
The biggest struggle, definitely mentally, because in prep it is a mental battle. Because obviously you're on lower calories, you're on lower food, and your expenditure is higher. So your energy levels really dip. And the thing I found the hardest was, like, you can nearly get like a brain fog, where you're nearly like socially not able for certain things. Like I found, obviously, because we work with people, like we work with coaching and everything, so I'd be getting up at 6 a.m. to do classes, or like late in the evening to do classes, and I was nearly like saving all my sociability for those moments, and like the rest of the time I was just like a zombie, like just sitting there going, I can't talk. Or another thing I really struggled with was because you get very depleted, so your energy levels are low, and then obviously because you weigh less as well, your strength drops. And I like being really strong. I like being able to lift really heavy weights. So that for me as well, I really didn't enjoy, because I couldn't do what I was normally able to do, and I found that very frustrating.
Like it was hard to see, this is part of a bigger thing, it's part of a bigger plan, but I want to live.
I want to lift big heavy things.
Yeah.
So that was really hard, because
your kids are your biggest supporters.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, they are. They
were cheering you on from the get-go.
Oh yeah, because like we were doing the prep, and like part of doing the prep that we did, like the show I did was a kind of a beginner level show, and the reason we were doing the first one was because, one, we wanted to see physically and mentally how I would cope, because my coach is very, very big on his athletes' health. So at any stage that you're doing a prep and mentally or physically your health is deteriorating or is not in good shape, you're pulled.
Okay.
So like things like if you're struggling mentally, where it could be a thing, a lot of people end up kind of going into a binge mode and stuff like that, or they find that they're completely gone, they're completely burnt out. Or as well with females, it can affect your hormones. So like that loss of periods and stuff like that can happen. So we obviously want to stay mentally and physically healthy as possible. So that was our first kind of step. And the second was to see how I would cope on a day-to-day. So like a lot of people do bodybuilding preps, they wouldn't have as much going on as I do. Like I am like working full time and I'm raising the 2 kids alone. So it is a lot, and then throwing a prep in on top of that. So we wanted to have it that the kids weren't affected, home life wasn't affected. Like, because you can get quite moody, and you can get quite, like, as I said, you get like kind of quite depleted and your energy levels are low. And the last thing I wanted was the kids to be affected by that.
Yeah.
And I remember asking them kind of in the last week or so, you know, how did you feel? Was there any stage of this where you thought, we really don't want Mommy doing this? And they were like, no, they didn't. They loved it. They were like, we can't wait for you to do it. And are you going to do more?
Amazing, isn't it?
But like I made them part of it. So like the kids were like part of it. Like they were getting up in the mornings, coming to the gym, before opening and after closing and stuff. Sometimes they were coming with me, and then, you know, I still made it like we'd still go to McDonald's and we'd still go out and do things. Like obviously I would just be sitting there with a lunchbox of whatever I was eating, protein or whatever I was eating, and a black coffee or a Coke Zero or something, and they'd have their food, no problem. It was never an issue. Or, you know, like my daughter, I brought her for the fitting of the bikini because
so sweet.
Because, like, you know, a big part of the competition is like the glitzy bikini that, you know, everyone wears. And I was getting mine custom made, and I made a day of it with my daughter, and she came and she was the one who picked out what crystals we put on, what jewels we put on, the colour we picked, and like that we were keeping it a secret from everyone, and she was the only one that knew the secret. So like it was nice like that we were able to do that. So they were part of it. Like so they really enjoyed it.
Which just leads me into then your kids, they've watched you all along this journey.
Yeah.
How do you think this journey has shaped them, and what do you hope that they have taken from this?
They both want to compete.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's so good.
Yeah, because even they've talked about, like, they'll say, like, so when I'm older and I'm doing my competitions, you know, I'm going to do this. You know, they've seen, like, my son, like, he asked for Christmas, he asked for, like, weights and all sorts of training gear and everything. They already have asked when they can join the gym and when they can start training properly. Like I train football teams and everything as well. Like they come along to training and they see all that kind of process. And then as well, like I educate them about kind of healthy nutrition. So like teaching them how to read labels and stuff like that correctly.
Yeah.
So they understand, like I never demonize foods or anything like that. Like I still eat like chocolate and ice cream and everything, and I love a takeaway.
Yeah.
So like we go out for food.
It's really everything in moderation.
Yeah.
And it's not about, like I was listening to a podcast yesterday, well I'm only halfway through it, and it was absolutely brilliant. The way she worded it was, it's not about losing. So the way, you know, the way we say we need to lose weight.
Yeah.
It's not about losing, and even the word losing is such a negative word. It's about gaining muscle.
Yeah.
And changing your shape
Yeah.
and eating correctly.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
So like that, I've taught them, like, if you want to, you know, perform better on the pitch, because they both play sports, I'm like, you need to be eating these kind of foods. These are the foods that are going to help fuel your workouts, they're going to help fuel your training, fuel your performance, make you faster, make you stronger, make you better. And
but isn't that a great message to teach your kids?
Yeah, it is. So like hopefully now it'll stick and I can have absolute athletes when I'm
Of course it will stick. They'll be on playing for Ireland in no time.
Yeah.
So there must have been moments when you wanted to quit. I'm sure you can think of many, but can you take us back to one in particular and tell us how you got through it, or who helped you get through it?
Brian Hickey has received so many voice notes for the last couple of years of me telling him, I can't do this anymore. That man is an absolute saint, because he has to listen to my absolute spirals. For me, with the bodybuilding, I can do the training, I can do the eating, I can do all that stuff, no problem. That's never an issue. For me, it was getting on stage.
Oh, you need to talk us through that.
Yeah, it was the getting on stage, and not only getting on stage, but getting on stage in a very, very tiny bikini.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people think in our line of work that like we're like, you know, I am really confident around people and helping people and everything like that, and you think, oh, like she's really outgoing, she's really chatty, but that's fine. But when the attention's on me,
Yes.
it's a different ball game, because
And even your posing, like that was a whole area in itself that
yeah,
had to be taught.
like even you know this, I don't even let people know what my birthday is, because I don't
know,
even like
I
people
know,
say happy
that's so
birthday.
true.
Yeah, I'm just so like that. People think, oh, because I coach a load of people or I do classes and everything like that, I'd be great at something like that.
Yeah.
But that's because focus on everyone else. The
Exactly.
focus is not on me.
So that was a real challenge.
So that for me was the big challenge, where I was going, oh God, I have to actually stand. Yeah, the posing is one of the hardest things. Like I think a lot of people think, oh, you just go on stage and you stick
Smile,
stick your bum out and everything. And no, it's not. I took hours and hours and hours of practice. Like you're in these insanely high heels. I don't really walk in heels at all.
You're a runner's type
Yeah, I'm a runner's or sliders type
Yeah.
of girl, and walking around in these heels and the posing and like that, you're tense and everything, you're holding everything, you're in place, and like that, you just smile. I just like looking at you, really love this, and I'm really happy right now, even though now everyone can see my bum cheeks.
Is that what was going through?
Yeah, and I'm like, my bum is out right now, and half my family are here, and this is. But look, it was. We did it.
Off the stage, were you like, oh my God, I actually did that?
I got off stage and I went, oh God. Yeah, it was. I did it, and it was like I was absolutely shitting it. Absolutely shitting it.
So what way does it work? So do they call you up on stage?
Yeah, so you do individual. So for each category, everyone that's in the category does their individual 60-second routine.
You to talk me through, let's say Mary Jo, whoever it is on the stage, and you know you're next.
Yeah.
Talk me through what's going on in your head.
So in your head, you're checking everything is in the right place, that you want it in the right place. Yeah. And like that, you're walking on and you're kind of thinking, right, I need to get here, do this, get to this spot, do this spot. And you're going through, because what threw me on the day was, obviously I had a routine set out of what I was doing, your poses and your transitions and everything. But the shape of the stage was different. Okay. So that completely threw me. So I was trying to go, okay, what am I going to do next? What am I going to do next? And like half the time, I think I blanked most of the time. I was doing stuff and I don't even know what I did. I'd say if somebody showed me back a video, I'd be like, that wasn't me.
Oh my God.
I was like, just get on, get off, get it done. Now the hard part was so after everyone does their routine, they bring all the competitors for each category out, and you do what's called a pose down.
Okay.
So you're basically, they'll say quarter turn to the right, quarter turn to the right, and you're literally going around in a circle, hitting a pose in a circle. But for the overall, for the bikini category, they obviously couldn't make a decision. I think there was 10 of us all together up on stage. That pose down went on for about 15 minutes. And it was like kind of towards the end of the day. So like
You're all tired.
We were all tired. We'd been like, we're all dehydrated because you do a thing called water loading. So you'd like load yourself full of water and the day's running up, and then you completely dehydrate yourself. Yeah. So it's just to make you look leaner. Yeah. So we were all dehydrated. You're tired. You haven't really eaten. You've been up like since 5 a.m. getting 3 layers of spray tan done and your hair done and your makeup done. And like you're in this bikini and it's kind of uncomfortable to wear as well, and you're in the heels, and this pose, we were doing this pose down for 15 minutes, and in my head we were cramping up, because like you're holding and posing and smiling, and like I was there going, just somebody call it, I don't even want to win it out anymore. Just
everyone else is the same.
Yeah, I was like, just get me off the stage, please. But yeah, look, it was a really good experience. But yeah, it was quite an experience.
I'd say, I'm sure.
Yeah.
So the podcast is called Strong Mind, Strong Body, and it's all about the connection between our mental and physical strengths. So did you find that one complemented the other?
Yes. I think for me, with the stuff I've gone through, like I always said, the gym was my therapy. Yeah. But one thing that stuck with me was when my partner passed away, our son was just 2 years old. And I remember him saying to me, he says, who's going to mind us from the bad guys now that Daddy's gone? Because, of course, he worshipped his dad. His dad was his hero.
Yeah, of course.
And I remember that stuck with me. And I was like, I will. It'll be me. I'll do it. And he was kind of going, okay. So I was like, right, I have this responsibility where I have to be the strong one here. I have to be the one that my kids can look at and go, right, she's going to take care of us. No matter what's going to happen, she's going to be the one that's going to do this. So that's always been in the back of my head. Like I do unfortunately have to play both roles.
Yeah, of course.
So I have to be mum and dad, which works out quite well for the kids because I am quite into sports. And
What stopped you kind of mentally spiraling downwards? The fact that your son had said that to you was like, right, well, I'm going to have to man up here.
Yeah, I suppose with a lot of people would say to me, oh, I don't know how you do it. I didn't have a choice.
Yeah.
I really didn't have a choice. Like, part of me wanted to get in bed and stay in bed and cry for days and days, but I didn't have that choice. Now, like, fortunately, I've been raised by a woman who is another powerhouse in herself, like is a very strong woman and very much a get up and get on with it, which kind of rubbed off on me and my sisters in a really good way. So that kind of gave me the push, but definitely like the way I see it, like, I'm not just training, like, obviously bodybuilding is an aesthetic thing and you want to look a certain way, but I'm also training for the case of, like, I've had to like lift a washing machine up out of like up the stairs. I've had to like move things in the house by myself and I'm capable of doing those things. I've had to, you know, do things that because there's nobody else there to do it. And I also want the kids to be able to, I want to be able to help the kids and look after the kids in like years to come because
you don't want them to have to look
after you. Like if women understood like the benefits of weight training, like in terms of like muscle mass, and like if you have more muscle mass, you can eat more.
Yes, that's one way to make it spin.
Like the more muscle mass you have, the more you can eat.
Yeah, it's so important.
Like
make sure you eat the right foods.
Yes, right foods, right healthy foods.
So for any solo parent out there, what would you say to them if they're listening and they have a dream or a goal that they want to work towards, but they feel like they don't have the time or the money, etc.? Like there is ways. There is ways. I think if you want it that bad, you'll find a way.
Yeah, I'm very big on. Like I've been very lucky and I've been very fortunate, but I've also had to work really hard as well. Now, the way I entered into this industry and everything like that, I was very, very fortunate. You were there that day.
Never forget it. Never forget it. The tears were flowing.
The tears were flowing. So when the kids were really small, I stayed home from work because I just thought they're too small and I needed to be at home with them, and I chose to stay home for those years. And then when the youngest went into primary school, I said, right, I'm going back to work. And got a job in a local hotel, and they said, oh, with the hours you can do, the only thing we can give you is cleaning bedrooms. And I went, grand, happy days, I don't mind, I love cleaning. My house is really clean, I'm really good at it. So went and I started cleaning bedrooms in the local hotel, and I did that job for a couple of months. And then the owner of the hotel stopped me one day, and a lovely, lovely gentleman. And he basically said to me, he says, I've been watching you. And I went, oh God. I was like, what have I done? Oh my God, I'm going to be in trouble. I've done something wrong here. And he goes, no, he says, I've watched you. You work really hard. And he says, you're a great worker. He says, I've heard great things about you. He says, you're always smiling. You're always pleasant with everyone. And he says, well, what would you like to be doing? And he says, why are you cleaning bedrooms? And I was like, well, I just said, well, I need to work to get money for my family, whatever. And he said, but what would you like to be doing? I said, the dream is to work in a gym. And he says, well, why aren't you working in a gym? And I said, well, I don't have the qualification. And he says, okay, leave it with me. And little did I know, he went off and had a little conversation with.
He came straight down. It probably came straight down to me. And I love helping people. That's what my whole business is based on, is helping people. I'll never forget, he sat in my office and he said, there's this girl, blah, 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 upstairs, and can you do anything for her down here? And I just was like, send her down to me. I'll find something. We'll sort something. And the rest is history.
Well, he came.
And then poor Eleanor came down to me and she sat in front of me and she burst into tears.
Well, because he came back up to me and he said, kid, you're going to college. So
That's right, yeah.
that man put me through college and got me my qualification.
He got
and
you on the road to
yeah,
where you are
he
now.
got me, and gave me my leg up. So like the thing is, like, if you believe in it enough, it'll happen, it'll
Absolutely.
come. Like, what's for you won't pass you.
Yeah.
As I said, I've been very, very lucky, but I've had to put the work in.
Yeah.
Like that, I've gone back now and since then, and I've done 3 more qualifications since then, and I've more coming up now in the pipeline, hopefully in the next couple of months. So like that, and it's hard, but like, I don't like, I know this whole thing of we've the same 24 hours and blah blah blah. Like, you can make it work. Like, if I can do,
You're getting up at 4 a.m. to train, and plus work, and plus be a fantastic mother to 2 children, anyone can achieve that
you can
goals.
make it work if you want it enough. You can make it work.
Yeah.
Absolutely, but you just have to just keep driving forward. Like, I know I just want to give the kids the best and show them the best. So that's my biggest drive.
Such an amazing example to your kids, without a shadow of a doubt.
Thank you.
So finally, then, what's next for Eleanor? Is this the beginning of a more going down the competitive route, or are you just proud to have achieved that goal for yourself?
I'm going again.
I knew that was the answer that was coming.
So the idea for the last competition was to see how we coped and how we managed. And of course, like, I did quite well. I got 2 second places and...
No. Eleanor, you did amazing.
Yeah.
You did phenomenal.
Yeah, I did. I got 2 second places and a 4th in my first. So the plan is to do a full season.
Yeah.
So we're in a building phase now at the moment. So that means that we're kind of trying to grow certain areas that we got feedback on.
Yeah.
We're growing certain parts, and we will go and compete then again next year. Amazing. So we'll do a full season. So probably, I'm hoping definitely 2 shows, maybe 3, maybe 4. We'll see how the body...
Would you think of maybe doing an Instagram, some sort of journey on your...
I do have on my Instagram, I do have videos and reels and stuff like that, where
super.
I post. Yeah, so whether I'll go the public route of it, I don't know.
Oh, Eleanor, you should.
Yeah.
I mean, people need to see it.
Yeah.
So good. Then again, I know what you're like.
Yeah, I wouldn't be the big, like, I put that stuff, but anyone who's on my Instagram are friends and family, and
course,
like
I
people
get
who would
it.
know me. But no, we'll see. Maybe I could be.
The amount of people you could help, though.
Yeah, we'll see. It's something I have thought about, but I don't know if there would be enough to...
If you could stand up on a stage in a teeny weeny bikini and win medals like that, you could definitely do it.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll see. Maybe down the line we might...
That's a conversation for another podcast.
Might turn me into a fitness influencer, we'll see.
Well, you never know. I mean, who's to say? Put your mind to anything, like you just said. But, Eleanor, thank you so much for coming in. You're an absolute inspiration.
Thank you.
We'll pop all the links below to your Instagram. I don't know if you want strangers following you, but anyway, they can. And then we'll pop Brian's details below.
Absolutely,
as well. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.